The Obama birther controversy was reborn yesterday. Was it buried for good today? This morning, Hillary Clinton pounced on the opportunity to tear into Donald Trump for declining to tell the Washington Post where he stands on the president's citizenship now.
For 5 years, he has led the birther movement to delegitimize our first black president. His campaign was founded on this outrageous lie. There is no erasing it in history. Just yesterday, Trump again refused to say with his own words that the president was born in the United States. Barack Obama was born in America, plain and simple, and Donald Trump owes him and the American people an apology.
Is Clinton the one who owes the president an apology? Didn't her supporters kick off the birther movement back in 2008?
When this photo of Obama in ceremonial African tribal dress during a visit to Kenya was featured prominently on the internet and attributed to people in the Clinton campaign, Senator Clinton disavowed any knowledge of it.
I mean, you take Senator Obama at his word that he's not a Muslim. You don't believe that he's a Muslim.
No, why would I?
There's
no, there is nothing to base that on, as far as I know.
Trump told the Post he wanted to answer the birther question at the right time, and that time came today.
Hillary Clinton and her campaign of 2008 started the birther controversy. I finished it. I finished it. You know what I mean. President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period. Now we all want to get back to making America strong and great again.
Okay, Eric, so does this answer the question he wanted to definitively say? And he said, look, the president was born in the United States, period.
So, all right, so let's clarify a little bit right here. Right. So back in 2008, there was a supporter who sent that email around with the picture
of Hillary,
of the picture of President Obama in
Hillary supporter.
Right, a Hillary supporter, and so the campaigns went back and forth in 2008. It's not like Republicans now or conservatives or Trump people are painting this as she started. That's not what happened.
Right.
David Plouffe worked for President Obama at the time. I'm sorry, Senator Obama at the time when he was running against Hillary. Her campaign was crashing and burning during the primary. She wasn't going to get the nod. She wasn't going to be the nominee. This started to go around, and Plouffe, working for Obama, said, hey, wait a minute, Clinton, you did this, and the campaign started fighting this way. So this started amongst them, Democrats, in 2008. Fast forward to now. It gets brought back up.
So they built that.
They built that. Yeah, a great point. They built that. Fast forward to now, Washington Post tries to corner Donald Trump, asks him about it. He probably could have said, put it to rest right away during that interview, but he didn't for whatever reason, but fixed it today with a 20-second response saying, look, this is done, let's move on. Bottom line, she's on the ropes. The deplorables comment followed by her health questions. Her numbers are tanking right now, and he's in the zone. He's going to Flint, Michigan. He's saying all the right things and doing all the right things. So they needed something, and it's evident the fear in the campaign. You can see it because on Twitter, Hillary Clinton doesn't tweet all that much. Over these last couple of days, they are just on fire trying to get him back into that place where he fights back, and he's smart. He's kicking back, going, I'm not going to get sucked in this time.
All right. So, Megan, what do you think? They tried to resurrect it, breathe new life into the birther movement. Is it going to work for her? Because, you know, Bowling's right. I think she is a little bit on the ropes and trying to gain some traction and poke some holes in him.
This is a one-day story, I think, at the most. This is Friday. I think it's going to dissipate over the weekend. Her lead is evaporating. We're not talking today, though, about, like you said, her emails, her passing out like a zombie in The Walking Dead at the 9/11 memorial. We're not talking about, you know, her basket of deplorables comments. We're not talking about any of that right now. Right now, we're talking about how all Republicans are racist. We're all racist everywhere. This is an old story. I'm sick of talking about it. I would have preferred Donald Trump to say he was born in the United States. We're moving past this and move on, because it's just neat to liberals and the liberal media to spin this, but I think it's a one-day story, and then she's still got a ton of problems.
Yeah, she still has her own issues. What do you think, Craig?
Well, I mean, this was the break glass in case of emergency issue, and they were going to have to use this at some point, and they saw that, I mean, the only person that had a worse week than Hillary was Bill, because he had to deal with Hillary during this worst week ever.
And the body double.
Her campaign was on the verge of collapse, so they had to do this. Having said that, this is a legitimate issue because whether or not, and it's true, and I even brought it up weeks ago that it was somebody in Hillary's campaign that did this, Trump is the OB. He's the original birther. He's been pushing the birther story for years, and then he ends it in 27 seconds. I mean, he was married to this theory, and then it's like a quickie Vegas divorce. It's like, hey, 27 seconds, we're done, let's move on. And it's such an about-face. What I think would be great is if Obama did exactly the same thing and then just comes on and says, wait a second, I was born in Kenya. I got 4 months left. I was actually born in Kenya. Would be hilarious, but I don't think he will do that. But I do think that.
No. Really, you really debated
but
this.
I do think you have to be. These are compatible stories. The Clinton campaign did have a role in this, but you can't excuse Donald for pushing this for a long time with some very explicit and very complete tweets about him not being born in the United States.
You can't excuse Donald Trump, but I don't think it's a coincidence that this is the narrative that she's using and liberals are pouncing on. And I got so many tweets all day. I'm sorry, the Middle East is on fire. The economy is in the tank. We have so many problems. The worst humanitarian crisis since World War II raging in Syria right now. And you know what we're talking about? The birther issue.
You know who put a fire hose on Hillary's fire on this birther issue? President Obama did. Earlier today, he goes, you know what, don't we have more important things to talk about than my birth certificate? I think he said, I'm pretty sure I was born in Hawaii.
What does that tell you?
He said, pretty sure, Greg? You're saying he wasn't fully sure?
Here we go.
Ebony
you are a conspiracy theorist.
Okay,
welcome.
So here's the thing. After 7 years in the White House, I'm certainly glad that Donald Trump is satisfied to know that Barack Obama was born here in the United States. I'm going to get to Hillary in a minute, but I want to talk about why this is actually good politics for Donald Trump. Okay. And I think it's actually was well played by him. There's his base is not going to abandon him. So his base still buys into the fact that Obama was born elsewhere. They're not going to leave him for coming out today and acknowledging the truth. But this is where it's good for him. There are people in this country right now that are still trying to decide, is Donald Trump a president or is he a crazy conspiracy theorist? And for those people, this can kind of work in his advantage to kind of dissipate some of that belief. Now, about Hillary, though, here's why her saying that, I had to laugh when she talked about him coming for the first black president. Hillary Clinton, you did and said everything you possibly could to make sure that Barack Obama would not be America's first black president, including the fact that her supporters, and this is an important distinction, Ian, you're right. Trump could be so precise and put this to bed yet again and just say, you know what, Hillary, maybe you didn't say it, but your supporters did, your volunteers did, and this was not originated completely by me, and really call her out on it, because I remember who Hillary Clinton showed herself to be in 2007, and I will not forget it, and people that want to sit around and act like they have amnesia now, they will do so at their own peril. She showed me exactly who she was in that primary.
But that clip they showed of her saying, as far as I know, that's like saying, well, I don't think he murdered anyone. As far as I know, as far as I know. That's
what she always does. No, that's who she was, Megan. And for someone who was paying, I was looking for who her core was. I've had long suspicions around Hillary and Bill Clinton and their true nature of their relationship with the black community. Like I said, she showed me exactly who she was during that primary.
That's interesting. So to follow up on that real quick, do you think also in terms of African-American community, it's sort of a little bit of a reminder that kind of the dispersions that were cast upon President Obama, that her camp didn't really quell at the time?
No, they didn't, Kimberly. And today, to see the Congressional Black Caucus come out, many of whose members I do respect, but kind of rally around Hillary Clinton and be protectionist for her on this issue is absolutely appalling to me. You cannot act like this woman has not done and said the things that she has in reference to this president, and it's very important. I know how much she's dependent on that coalition, that almighty Obama coalition, to save the day for her, but you've got to be accountable for what you've said and done.
There's an interesting corollary to that. The other side of that coin is President Obama, when he's senator running against Senator Clinton, said some pretty nasty things about her. And now if you juxtapose what he said in 07 and 08 during the campaign to what he's saying about her now, it's vastly different. At one point, I think he said she's one of the most dishonest politicians around, and went along that vein. And now he's saying, hey, vote for her.
He's got to say that, but Colin Powell told us all what the real deal is, and I love those emails for that, because, look, again, that nastiness, KG, that went down in that primary doesn't go away just because of political convenience.
There's another aspect of that, too, especially when she is trying to have ownership, saying, I am the candidate for you. I'm the champion of African Americans, of minority communities.
Please.
If you recall, back in 2008, Obama's campaign manager actually accused the Clinton campaign. It's a shameful, offensive fear-mongering with circulating that post, the photo that tried to smear Obama.
Yeah, that was Pluff.
Yeah, exactly, which had, it was appeared on the Drudge Report first on the website with Obama dressed as if he was like a Somali elder, right? So you couple these kind of things together.
That was their whole plan. They wanted to cast him as an other,
But
right?
here's the thing. You know what's interesting, too, is that Hillary is doing exactly what she's accusing Trump of doing with David Duke. Everybody's saying, Trump, why don't you condemn the people who support you for what they believe in?
That's right.
Like when David Duke supports. But then she should be condemning her supporters or the people in her campaign that pushed the birther idea. And she didn't because the birther idea, the birther conspiracy,
served her.
would have served her.
And your father actually was so great.
I
Sorry,
was about
Megan.
to say, neither of these candidates' hands are clean. The only one that I remember disavowing this, hands down, is my father.
I agree.
And I'm just saying, like,
was he born here, though? Wasn't he born in Panama? Wasn't he born in Panama?
He was born on a military base.
I rest my case. He was born in Panama in an Air Force base.
My dad, Ted Cruz. Nobody's born in America anymore.
I can't believe I remember that.
But here's the point. If you bring it up in terms of that, it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with location of birth. And Donald Trump, look, whether he can say he didn't say it or he did or not say it, he also suggested that Ted Cruz, is he viable candidate for presidency? It has nothing to do with race.
I don't know. Ted Cruz is technically a man of color, though. I mean, he's
Cuban.
He's Cuban. So I do think there is something to.
Oh my God.
Is he not? Is he not?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I didn't even think of that though. So he has a problem.
But I'm just saying that the lens of otherness, people do like that weaponry. I'm just saying.
No, Trump went after Cuba, but what was it about? Not a lot of evangelicals come from Cuba. That's what he said about it. That's what he said.
But
you know what? Maybe
Cruz is from Canada.
The criticism about conspiracy theories, I hate conspiracy theories, but to go after Trump about that, it's hypocritical.
You have no idea what you're missing.
No, I know.
It's so much fun.
I'm trying to say that the left started the fine art of conspiracy theories. They pushed the idea that AIDS was created by the CIA. Do you remember that in the 80s? That water fluoridation causes, to weaken us. Government suppresses cures for cancer. JFK was killed perhaps by Richard Nixon. The Pentagon was hit by a missile. Like all of this stuff.
The NSA is spying on us. Oops.
Oil companies, were investing and invading Iraq. These are all left-wing conspiracies.
Well, I'll say this final point, though. Bill Clinton was the originator of kind of speaking to this underclass, white America that was very much afraid of what, could lie in front of them. And that's what he ran on in Arkansas to be governor. He ran on in 1992 to be president. So for Hillary now to pull this, the hypocrisy is astounding.
Boom.
But it got the conversation off her health for one day.
Right, for one day.
Because we would have led this show about her health, and we didn't.
Oh,
that's Monday.
Yeah.
She's not getting off the hook.
I had to rewrite my whole show.
We're going to bump into special report because, this is a serious show.